Good morning, everyone. Hey, Puppy Power. Hey, good morning to everybody that's come in. Can you hear me clearly? Good morning, Sue. Good morning, Mods. Thank you, Mandra. Thank you for the daily heart me's that everybody's done. If you remember, the team hit the daily heart me. Personally, yeah, it's going to sound muffled because of the mask. But I just need to know that you can understand the words that are coming out of my mouth. Good morning, haters. Good name. Oh yeah, WhiteSox wants to go outside. I'm sick of air conditioning the outside. Hey, Proud Fire. Wait, why am I gonna say that wrong? Proud Fireways. Yeah, if you remember the team, hit the Daily Heart Me. If not, thank you, Who's Deaf. Um, and you like the content, join the team. Gifts are accepted and appreciated, but they are not required. I'm gonna do this regardless. Okay? Um, what I do ask is that every time I change the photo of a scammer, that you like the live until you feel the heart's tail. Around here, we don't care what the ending number is. Oh, thank you. Fucking Mir, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Um, we don't care about the number at the end. What we want to do is thank you, Who's Deaf. We want to get to the For You feed so that people who aren't aware become aware. Oh, here we go. White Sox? No. Oh, White Sox. You hear the whine? All because I just told him to stop chasing his sister around. This is how he ends up going outside. White Sox, come here, buddy. Come sit down with me. Come be your co-host. Anyway, he'll come eventually. Oh, it's gonna be a wild Friday. And it's gonna start right here. Let me tell you. I have some things to say. Coco and Bubba, no. Your cat's looking around, I bet. I told you White Sox is asking to get rehomed. I swear. Hey, cat daddy. Hug your wife for me. Anyway, I just came across her. I can't believe that woman. Somebody send it to me. Or send me a clip or something. Oh, Lumpy Pillows, I miss you guys too. Believe me. Japonica Yazzie is out of control and I'm going to talk about it. The third one. If you want to sleep without being able to move because he's laying on top of you and he's 12 pounds, have at it. Oh, okay, please let her rest. Let her rest. Okay, so let's just get to the grave. I apologize for being late. Don't all. There's no all. He's whining. Okay, so we're gonna talk about Lashairee, Tashanique, if we get to her, because She's just spiraling for no good reason. Well, for good reason. We're gonna talk about Mariah, Catharine, Sheena, and Rose. And then I have a raising the consciousness. Now my suggestion is that you stick around because I'm only gonna talk about it once. And I'm going to share some things I've never talked about publicly. Oh, thank you, Schindler. Thank you. Thank you guys for the gifts. Because I think it's important that I give context to some of the things that have happened. Hey, good morning, P. Lewis. I ask that you. Good morning, Colin B.S. Good morning, ambivalent. Serial stalker. That's funny. Mercedes, she's a hustler. That's what's wrong with her. And her son is no better, except for the fact that he will call her out. Yesterday, he was calling her slick. He was he was basically telling her that she was dry begging. But wait till I get there. I'm gonna send you a message. Oh, Cindy, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for the heart knees. Thank you for everything, guys. I appreciate it. Um, so stick around for the raising the consciousness because I'm gonna share some interesting things. And like I said, some things that I've never revealed publicly. Who do I want to start with? Let's let's start with Mariah. Let's get in and get out. So you guys know that I've been telling you that Mariah gets on with a sad face. Literally every day there's a problem. Thank you, Mama Bear. Thank you. And she makes her, just like Sheena, she makes her chat responsible for her mood, her happiness. Thank you, your favorite girl. Oh, Gossip Girl. Thank you. She makes them responsible for everything. Well, I won't say everything, but when she comes live, who they are and how they act and what they do determines how she's going to behave on the live. And there was a time when TikTok used to be that the person who went live was required to engage with the audience, to provide the audience something, right? And now it seems like the creators are demanding that the audience entertain them and that they will only up their ante when they're getting gifts or money directly sent to them. And not, I'm going to provide content and then you can gift if you like it or not. And I don't know when it became that. I don't know. TikTok used to be fun, and I'm not saying that it's not fun. I know my algorithm on this page is dedicated to finding people who are taking advantage of others, but I have other accounts that are not on the same algorithm. And it still feels like it's almost like once battling started, that it became the expectation of gifts just because you turned your light on. Not, I'm very thankful for you doing so. And so now you have people like them who, instead of battling, are saying, I'm here. It's time to gift me. I turned my light on. And now it's gotten to the point where TikTok is my job because I told you so. So gift me. Because this is my job. And again, let's bear in mind, people get paid for performing a service. Now, do pretty people get paid because they're pretty? Yeah. But even then, they have to show up. They have to do what's required of them in order to get that paycheck. TikTok has created a group of people who are like, I'm here. I've told you this is my job. I don't need to do anything. I don't need to create any, yes, and I don't need to create any content whatsoever. And then I get to tell you about what I need, and I get to expect that you're going to pay it. Thank you, Shannon. Thank you. And welcome into everybody who's here. So she goes live. This was back on Monday. Okay, thank you for the French fries. If that keeps happening, Mom, you know what you can do, right? All right. So she goes live on Monday and asks where her mods are. Now, let me say this. Mods have a life too, right? And so if they're not aware that you're going to go live, thank you, Cindy, then to get up and expect them to be available anytime you go live is crazy work to me. Thank you, Silver. Thank you, Kimmy. Maybe they want to sleep in, or maybe they have to go to work, or maybe they have responsibilities. Oh, of course, Cake does, because Cake is looking for any opportunity to get money. The same way that Tashanique is like, you gotta pay me $50 to ask a question. Girl, please. So she immediately has an attitude. Thank you, Cindy, because they're not there. And my thing is, you're allowed 30 mods. So, do you have 30 already? Because otherwise, you can add more mods. And then people will be there. You have a greater chance of people being there. Now, the great thing about my mods is that they know the schedule. They know now I'm going to go live Mondays and Fridays. If I'm going to do a pop-up, hello, private dancer. I let them know that I'm going to do a pop-up. And what I tell them every time there's a pop-up, if you can make it, cool. Thank you, Sky. If not, no problem. Because I appreciate the fact that they have lives. And I just have to deal with it on my own. Thankfully, the six have been so supportive that at least one or two make it. Corrective, Hanukkah. But hold on. Let's stay with Mariah real quick. Immediately, accounts coming in are sketchy. Because you guys know we have to set up the need to complain. Hey, baby girl. She starts blocking. And then what always comes next? Marion, I don't want people to feel like I'm not appreciative. I know. She starts complaining that the app is draining her. WhiteSox, come up here. Come on, baby. Come on. He's staring right at me. Thank you, Lumpy Pillows. The app is draining her, and it's not worth it anymore. Yes, Game Opera. You want to know why? Because she's not getting money like she was before. Now she says it's not worth it because she uses it to pay for school. And people aren't effing gifting her. She isn't getting support. And she needs TikTok to pay for school. Good morning. Good morning. Thank you, Silver Swifty. What? So you're mad at an app, or I shouldn't even say the app, the people who come and watch you consistently. Um, Cat, whatever the rest of your name is, do me a favor. Turn your light on and go talk about whatever you want to talk about. This here is a digital deceiver shadow lie. And I'm going to talk about what I want to talk about. But have a blessed day. It is nobody else's responsibility to pay your bill. Especially not when every single day is a complaint about something. So that you can then set up people to feel sorry for you and give you the money. I have been watching this happen more and more and more lately. And see, my problem is that that's manipulation. White Sox, if people want to give you the money, they will. These actually creators, how do you think creators in A1 are in A1? Because the people who follow them have chosen to give them the gift. Good morning, Beta Boss. Good morning, Berries. Now, are some of their tactics manipulative? Yes. But when you're trying to, like your favorite gossip girl says, guilt trip them into paying for your basic needs, there's a problem. Now, this is what's funny. When she was asked by people, thank you, Chrissy, when she was asked by people what she was doing that day, hey! Hold on, guys, because I gotta go open the door. I'm sorry, guys. Thank you, Cindy, thank you. I'm sorry I lost my train of thought. Oh, I know. So people asked her in this live, what are you doing today? And lo and behold, what do you think her answer was? Absolutely nothing. He's whining again. Go outside, buddy. Absolutely nothing. So, you want money from people, and you have days off, so you don't work enough to pay your bills, but you want somebody else to pay your bills? He's been on one lately. I've been trying to play with him more, to engage with him more, but it's something about chasing Kira that makes his day, and she does not like it. So, this is what's crazy. She was whining that she had to choose between paying for school or paying her phone bill, her cell phone bill. Now, I know by watching her in the past that her cell phone bill is about $50. So, your monthly school bill is $50? Or 100? And you feel like on the days you have nothing to do, that people on TikTok who work are supposed to pay for your school so you can pay for your cell phone. Thank you guys. The audacity to expect that and to get mad with the app because you're not getting it is baffling to me. Perhaps if you provided content other than I'm going to take shots if you send me money, they'd be happy to. But I always go back to this point. People on here who get assistance and get it quickly are, rather, they become accustomed. They believe that this is going to continue. And because they have sycophants who are like, you have every right, don't let anybody tell you different, they suddenly become expectant. They become entitled. They feel like their presence is why they deserve it. And then the next thing you know, when the people who have been supporting them all along stop sending money, they crash out. There's something wrong with the way TikTok is, the people on TikTok are handling things. Or TikTok itself isn't pushing out her content. What content? You begging for people to give you money so you could pay for school? And like I said last time, a lot of us had to get loans to go to school. A lot of us had to work full time and go to school at night, or go to school during the day and work at night. There certainly wasn't an app that I could come to and say, guys, I need to pay for school. That didn't exist. And it is creating a subset of people who feel like they don't need to work hard, that they can do what they feel like doing, not what they need to do, what they feel like doing, and then other people should pick up the slack. I'm sorry, guys. Now you're going to hear outside. But it's the trade off I have to take right now. If she got a part time job working the one day a week that she has nothing to do other than sit on TikTok and complain, she'd have the money. And so for me, it's the audacity that you are sitting there with nothing to do and yet complaining that people aren't giving you. Kimberly, right, right. She was fortunate to have an uncle that could do that, but in the end, she had to pay it back, and she had to work and take care of her children. Mariah has a daughter. She doesn't have custody. It seems like she has visitation, which is awesome. Thank you, Janie Annie. But you don't even have that on a daily basis. So what are we doing? What is stopping you from grinding hard like the rest of us did? Hey, hot man. There is nothing wrong with hard work. Thank you, Nisi. There's nothing wrong with grinding. Do you hear me? I know Scarlett, but at least she sees her. But the point I'm making is you don't even have to take care of your daughter full time. So why aren't we grinding? And listen, TikTok could be your grind. You could make content, you could do things, you could play game, like you could provide the chat with something to reward other than your complaint. Your favorite gossip girl, I'm not sure. I don't know if it's a family member, like her mother, or if it's a stranger. I have no idea. Okay, it is her mom. There you go. Right, just fun. Just for fun. They want to hit the live button, and that's it. Look at the granny crew. Let's talk about it. I left after that because it's going to be the same thing. And I want people to understand there's a difference between having an immediate issue that you're asking for help for and then becoming entitled to other people's money. There's a difference between having a long-standing issue and deciding that you're going to entertain on TikTok for your support and coming to TikTok and every day or every week expecting people to fund your life to eternity. I want to talk about Lala because she's one of those people who started out in an acute situation. She was being evicted because she said she lost her job for no fault of her own. I don't know if they just laid her off, fired her for cause, close the business. I don't know, and that doesn't matter in the stream of time. Now, when it first happened, and she was being evicted with her children, I understand. She's live now. I bet she is. So it didn't work out in her favor. She had the opportunity to go with her children to the father's, the father of the kids' mother's house. So they didn't go from her house to homelessness in the traditional sense. She actually had somewhere to go. And according to her, she couldn't get along with his mother, and that she pulled out a knife and threatened her in front of the kids. Again, I have no way of knowing if that is true or not. But she says that's when she moved into a hotel, and the father of her children moved in too. And that's when she started asking for help on TikTok. There you go. I'm sorry. She's been going live on Lala's Life 83 because she doesn't want her name to be blocked any longer. Because she does TikTok shop. Good morning, Scam Slam. She does TikTok shop. And she used to separate it. And then she got desperate. And instead of just doing TikTok shop, she started begging as well. Now, she went months, do you hear me? Months without getting dragged for what she was doing. Months. So people were paying for her hotel room every single day while she claimed she couldn't get a job and that she was going to make TikTok her job. Baby daddy gets a social security check. But she still wanted other people's money to pay for the room every day. Yes, she's been live on the Lala's Life 83 account. That's why if you're just looking for the original, you won't see her. So, what's really funny is that she wants people to mind their business, but she tells her business. So, she shows herself going to eviction court. And not only does she show herself going, but she shows the court and the county she's in. Nobody has to do anything about doxing you or telling your business, Lala, because you do it to yourself all the time. And as soon as court was over, what did she do? She went live again to tell everybody what happened. And wouldn't you know it, that while she was waiting for the paperwork, during the court case, they told her that she owed $6,700. I'm sorry if it's hard to understand me. I'm trying. $6,700. Now, why that feels significant to me is because you expected strangers to pay $6,700 I saw a splash. $6,700. And that is after they paid for her daily for months. That's what I mean by feeling entitled and expecting. While she was getting her hotel room paid, not a single thing changed. Nothing. And when people started to bring attention, like, wait a minute, what's happening here? She kept saying, I'm a woman trying to rebuild with her family and blah, blah, blah. The truth of the matter, thank you, Granny Andy, the truth of the matter was that the kids could have gone to the mother-in-law's house, to her hotel, Lumpy Pillows. And she could have figured life out for 6 months. Now, no real mother wants to be separated from her kids. But no real mother wants her kids to be homeless either. She's always running her mouth scam opera. Correct, Colin Diaz. She literally thought that she was owed people giving her another $6,700 so she could do what? Stock their money? I couldn't believe it. I mean, I knew it would be a lot, but I couldn't believe. Like, do you hear yourself speaking? Oh, I'm TT. We gonna get there. We're gonna get there. Now he gets a social security check, and she wants to say that they used her social security check to pay the bill. But what's funny is that the moment she stopped getting assistance on TikTok, she stopped paying the hotel room. Did that just say Yazzie joined? But that can't be her account. That has to be somebody else's. Wait a minute. What? Oh, okay. Good morning, Purple. Why is it okay for you to stop paying because other people aren't giving you the money? She wants to say that people called the recruiter, but you didn't show the recruiter's telephone number until after she already told you that you weren't selected for the job. Good morning, Douglas Letters. Do you see the manipulation? Did people call the recruiter? Yes. How did they know how to call her? Because you doxed her. Because you were so mad that they went with somebody else that you crashed out. Good morning. That's nobody's fault but your own. But now you want to twist the story and say these ladies called the recruiter. No, nobody knew her telephone number beforehand. Yeah, she doxed the recruiter. After the recruiter told her they were going with somebody else. Exactly, Danny. Now, let's talk about the background check. She says herself that her record was supposed to get expunged in 2017. Thank you, Mindra. If it, and that COVID prevented it. Now, it's been how many years since COVID? Have you not gone to the court in all this time to say, listen, I'm struggling to find a job. I need my record expunged. No. She allowed it to sit there so that she could say, I can't get a job, I can't get a job, I can't get a job. So you need to work or use your retirement or your husband's money or your kids' money, whoever, and send it to her. She said, I don't live in Jersey. What does where I live got to do with anything? So the moment people stopped sending, she started stacking. And if you've been stacking for months, then that should mean that you have enough money to take care of you and the kids for a minute, right? And again, I'm not making up that she's stacking. These are things she has said in her lives over and over and over again. But let me tell you something else that has me angry. This is Tiger, her cat. Right, Marion. Tiger is one of her male cats that she decided on her own had a UTI. There was no vet intervention at that point. So she was treating him with home remedies for a UTI. And in her community, they have a mobile vet. But the mobile vet is really for like shots. There's no jobs in Jersey. Be serious. Granny, I'm getting there. But when she took that vet, the vet, she's a licensed vet, so she's able to evaluate a cat. And she let her know it's not a UTI at all. Look at his eyes. She immediately identified that the problem are his eyes and that he needed to go to an emergency hospital. That's not wait for an appointment with a vet. She has three little ones now, but she has older children as well. This cat is barely moving. According to herself, she has to bring him to the food, bring him to the water bowl, bring him to use the litter box. And she's hand feeding him Pedialyte to keep him hydrated, which is a good thing. She showed him laying there barely moving, but yet she picks him up to show him to the lies. Why? Right, Princess, he's suffering. Why? Correct, Cindy. It's manipulation. It doesn't matter that he's barely moving. She needed to show us that when she puts him somewhere, He can't even like move on his own. He doesn't have the energy. She had to show us him, like she put him down, and then he just flopped there. Like I can't do anything more. And she's like, you see, what? Your description wasn't enough. Us seeing him laying there wasn't enough. So she called the animal hospital, and they said for him to be evaluated is $195. Aren't you stacking your bread? You don't have enough? But more importantly, hello, Vic. More importantly, that was for the emergency hospital. I'm sure there was a local vet, and their office, their appointment for an evaluation wouldn't be $195. That would be for the emergency hospital. Did you just call a vet in the area and find out? Don't sound like it. She hasn't said it. And then she said to me the most ignorant thing of all. She said, I'm not putting them down. I don't care what it is. I'm not putting them down. Let me explain something, Lala. Putting him down is the most empathetic thing you can do when your animal is suffering. Making them continue to suffer because you can't handle it is selfish. If you don't have the money, and some requirements, like they'll be like, oh, it's gonna cost $5,000. Most people aren't gonna spend that. Some will. But in her particular situation, she can't afford it. Which means you have to pick your battles. And so you would rather have him suffer with you as you're about to face homelessness rather than making the decision that's best for Tiger. Now I'll get back to Tiger in a minute. We know that she has until August 4th to surrender the room. Correct, correct, Nikki. Correct. And why does she have until August the 4th? Because she went to the prosecutor, or not the like, but whoever was representing the hotel in this matter, and said, "How can I avoid this being on my record?" Because originally she was given 3 weeks to get out, because she said, "Could she have extra time?" And they said, "If you surrender it and leave in 2 weeks, there will not be an eviction on your record." And then she said something about, for those who want to look up my case, there won't be one. There might not be an eviction on your record, but there will be a judgment on your record that you owe the hotel $6,700. But why do we need to look it up? You're telling us everything. Beautiful. Once you've been living in a hotel for over 30 days in most states, you're able to claim residency. And so therefore, she owes $6,700. And that's why a lot of hotels in certain places will only allow you to stay 28 days and then you have to leave for 2 or 3 because they don't want to get into this. But this motel, and a lot of allow it, it's guaranteed money until you become somebody who feels like other people should pay for it. And this is the thing. A hand up is one thing. Supporting you momentarily is one thing. Well, she's been evicted now. It's something different when you start to expect people. Yes, it was Eleanor Long. That's what I. Not yesterday. It was a couple of days ago, and I explained what happened. But to come out and say, for those of you, you can. It was a court proceeding, so of course there's gonna be a record. It might not show up as an eviction in the traditional sense. But if somebody really wants to look you up, they just have to look up your name. And they'll see that there's a judgment against you from a hotel for $6,700. That's wild to me. That remember, she originally said she would be evicted at $500. So she kept getting people to give her money so she could stay below 500. And when she owed 1,000, people were like, she gotta be lying because she said originally she would get evicted at 500. Now we're at 1,000. She got all the way to 6,700 in the end. And that's before the last 2 weeks. So it'll be over 7,000 by the time she leaves. It's a good thing she didn't get to 10,000. So she talked about how her son was having a bad day, so she had to go pick him up. And she said it's unfair. What is unfair? What is unfair about you being evicted from a motel that you didn't pay for months? That's your fault. But you want to blame everybody on TikTok because we stopped your help. Girl, you didn't think it was going to end. But let me say this. If they wanted to continue to support you, they could have. What they saw was somebody who was going to continue to ask and do nothing different. Not a single thing different. She was going to continue to ask every single day. So, it's nobody's fault. You didn't have the money. You didn't pay the hotel, so the hotel evicted you. That's life. That's not, to your point, that's not victim status, right? The amount of time she spends whining on TikTok about how these women who supposedly all came from All for One, I didn't, by the way, and nobody else did. We're all independent thinkers who watched you and saw who you were for real. We're the problem, not her inability to take responsibility for her own life. She talks about having recovery, which that's a beautiful thing, but then tries to act like those years aren't part of why she's where she is now. It's everybody else's fault, not hers, right? Okay. Now, people ask, where are you going? She claims she has no idea. Are you kidding me? I got 2 weeks to figure it out. You got that eviction notice weeks ago. And you knew weeks ago that you were going to stack your bread because you couldn't afford to stay there anymore. And you want me to believe you don't have a clue where you're going or what you're doing, and you waited until the day of eviction to think about it? I think one of the reasons why she doesn't go live in the room anymore is because she's been talking. Because she knew it was coming. So why are you pretending like you haven't figured it out? But she'd rather seem pitiful so that people give her money for her move. But she won't mention that she's been stacking his check and anything she gets from TikTok. You want to talk about what should be made aware of? She actually had the audacity. A woman in her chat was saying that somebody she helped ended up stealing from her and taking advantage of her. And while I literally had the gall to say, let me find the word, you have to be careful who you help. Not everyone wants to help. Are you kidding me? You don't know the other side of the story, right? You just took that woman's word for it when she said she was taken advantage of. And you literally fixed your lips to say you have to be careful who you help. Well, thank you for saying so, because that's what we say. Be careful who you help, because they become attached, they become expectant, and then they become entitled. You have had months to prepare. So then she said that the government should have a Medicaid for animals, for poor people who have animals and can't afford the care. That sounds cute. It sounds like a solution. However, you have an option. And that option is that you don't have an animal if you can't afford it. Do I think insurance for animals is outrageous? It is outrageous. It is meant to separate the haves and the have-nots. Period. But as always, she wants somebody to do something to make it possible for her. Not let me surrender because I have actual children to take care of. If I get to a place where I can afford it, Maybe I'll get one cat that I can. Good morning, TikTok president. Good morning. I hope you rested well. I think she has scam opera, which is why she's not going live from the room. Having your animal is a choice. Period. It's the same way with having children. After you're already in a bad situation and you continue to have kids, you make the choice, but now you want a Medicaid for animals. Please be serious. Now, do I think that there should be a cap? Yes, because some of it is outrageous. It's ridiculous. But a Medicaid for poor people to have animals? What else do you want? But you had a nerve to tell somebody else to be careful who you help. Yeah, he's saying that because he's ill. He's very ill. If y'all could have saw the look on her face when she made that statement, she even hesitated because she realized she was saying exactly what we do. She said that that was the situation we should be making aware on TikTok. We are. It just happens to be about you and your expectations. She was in the car later. It was hot. Why isn't the cat inside? You again went live to show off what was happening with the cat. I don't understand it. I don't know if it was because she thought people would take pity, but I'm going to say it again loud and clear. The idea that you will not, if it's required by a vet, let me be clear about this. If a vet says we need $500 or you have to put them down and you don't have the $500 and your only other option is to put him down and you say I don't have the heart to do that, that is selfish. Zoos have the best care for animals, and yet they take empathy on the animal suffering and put them down. I had to put my cat down. I could tell she was suffering. They did blood work one day, and when I could tell it was going to get worse, and I cried like a baby. I did. I had her for 19 years. Now I got Psycho and his sister. But I cried like a baby. But I am not going to watch you suffer for my own satisfaction. Correct, Nikki. I'm going to take a pause for a moment. Welcome in, calling BS.
Good morning. Hey, happy Friday, everyone. So I just have two things and then I'll just jump down. The first thing is that if anyone on this app needs to ask what's the difference between a beggar and a scammer, you're looking at her right there. That's it right there. because for months she collected and begged and people gave her money for hotel rooms and she wasn't paying the hotel.
Keep
So since,
going. Keep going. Keep
oh, okay,
going.
I'm sorry. So she wasn't paying the hotel. She's also admitted to building savings, which means she wasn't paying the hotel. And with the residency, people need to understand that doesn't lock you into one price every day. With the residency, that you are still charged for holidays, for weekends, so that rate fluctuates constantly. The lies in the communication, once again, of telling people that she paid the hotel, that she went down and put a little bit of money here and there. And please remember, she had two major mods who were giving her money. They felt so bad for that family. They wanted to help so much that they were cash apping her money all the time. And we're realizing that the hotel room was not being paid. She also has mentioned that she was trying to save up money to buy some kind of lodging unit or some kind of unit from Home Depot, not thinking she needed land of where she needed to put that. So she had another plan involved.
Right. And my thing is, to me, for as long as she hasn't paid it, she should have had the money to get it.
Right.
Right?
Right, she should have. But you need land, you need licensing, you need utilities to be hooked up to it. It's a whole bigger pocket thing than just paying that one large amount for a shed from Home Depot. It requires also transportation of moving that shed. So no one thinks about all that. The second thing is I want to talk about this cat real quick, and I'm gonna try to be as sincere and nice about it as I possibly can. Um, Lala has a tactic, and people need to realize what her tactic is that she dry bags through her stories. So what happens is that she'll make a post in her story. Recently, her last post was that she didn't have money for the vet bill, and that in order to see a decent vet, she's required to have a credit card. Thinking some
What?
fool, yes, we have the post, thinking some fool was going to put up a credit card for her so she could take this cat into the vet. Okay, the second thing is that then she came back and she said that she saw a mobile vet, and the mobile vet informed her that the cat did not have a UTI, a urinary tract infection, but there seems to be something wrong with the cat's eyes, and
You
she
could
should
see
have.
it.
Right, she should have someone seeing them for that. Now we don't know if the cat has some illness. The cat is living in a 4x4 room with three other cats, four other people, no ventilation. She's spraying all that TikTok crap she's selling. So who knows what it could be? I also want to mention this is where ignorance comes about. Lala is 35 minutes from my alma mater, the biggest vet hospital in Pennsylvania that has their whole veterinarian section. They have a veterinarian emergency room for people who cannot go to regular vets, who cannot afford it. Now they will go
Wow.
down, they will tell you the pricing of treatment, which is very, very cheap. They even put your cat in ICU very cheap. I've been through it with them. But their thing is they're a learning hospital, they're a learning vet, and they want to treat and make sure that the animal is taken care of. If not, they will give you other options and find other options for you. 35 minutes away from where she is. That's all she needs to do is just drive right over, park, and go into the emergency room to be seen for those cats. She really needs to take all of them.
She does. Hey, Queen Becca. Hey, stand up. Of course, it's everyone else's fault if she's looking for money.
Right,
Period. Point blank.
right.
Teresa. Wait, hold on one second. Chloe. Teresa. Wait, goodness, what am I doing? Teresa and Daisy, are you asking for a box? She's crashing out right now.
I mean, she should crash out. It's ridiculous. It's
It
just
is.
ridiculous to keep coming to TikTok thinking that people are going to help you, which they have helped her for almost a year now, turning in August. And people have given major amounts of money to her to help her with more than
Correct.
just cash. More than just cash.
They sent clothes. They did her entire Christmas.
Yes, they were
They were
willing
taking care of her.
yes, they were willing to relocate her if she needed help to Florida because it wasn't working
Wow.
for her in New Jersey. So I don't know what this scam is about this, the latest thing. I feel bad for the cat, but it's not the only cat that has an issue. She's got another one that can barely walk and has some kind of neurological disease or problem.
That's selfish at the end of the day. And it's
It's very
selfish because,
selfish.
mind you, the cat kept sneezing on her. And she's like, look, look at the, girl, you don't know what's coming out of that snot?
And let me tell you, if you got four cats, I'm sure that they're going to all get whatever is going on in that one room.
All I could think about was, wow, like imagine if she leaves what that hotel is going to have to do to that room.
Yes, yes. And to be
They won't be
proud,
able to rent it for a second.
and to be proud that you're not going to have another, let's put another eviction on your record, but
Right.
yet you will have a credit showing on your credit report that you owe people $6,700. I have a question for you, Didi. The 6,700 I missed, is this amount that she gave or she showed proof of?
She gave.
Okay, so I'm thinking that that is an amount that's probably been blown up so she could make more money if someone felt sorry for her to get as much
Mm.
money as she possibly can. It sounds like the amount that you would need to purchase something from Home Depot, or it sounds like the amount to move out of state.
Mm. I, the interesting thing was it 67? Like to me, it would because of taxes and things, it would be like $6,723.83. But she said 67, whether it's 67, 10, or 2. The
Right,
idea that other people have to, and let's bear in mind, she was given 2 additional weeks.
right.
So it's going to be more than that at the end of the day.
Right. And let's also take in consideration that, people are hearing us talk about this, talking about the assumption of the amount. We're not fools. People, you have to realize that she's been watched by numerous people. And each day we've been told by her a story of, I can't go over 500. I can't go over
Right.
1,000. I can't go over 1,500. So where did it get to 6,700?
And that's what I said, Pauline. You want us to believe that you even went down to the front desk and claimed that the person at the front desk said they would start eviction proceedings at $500. How in the world did we get to 6,700?
Right. Right. So I don't know what to tell her. She's got bigger problems and other problems. You're still driving around with no driver's license. Just more things, just more problems. But if you think you're going to come back to TikTok and beg, we're on your ass. We're on your ass. We know
Absolutely.
your game. We know your game. We let you
Right.
alone. We let you do your little TikTok shop thing. You're not getting any feedback. No one's buying from that stuff that everyone else on TikTok is selling. And then you think you're going to separate pages so you can have one page where you can beg, dry beg, and ask people and share your problems. And then you can have another page where you could sell TikTok. But what you're
Hmm.
doing is you're putting up your begging stories on the TikTok page for affiliate. So we see what you're doing.
This is the other thing, though, Colin. She has people that are in there every single day. I'll name one. Her name is Awareness.
Yeah,
Why
yeah,
isn't she paying her bills
yeah,
if she
yeah.
feels so strongly about it? All the other people, why aren't they paying?
Well,
How is the least? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
here's the thing I can drop about awareness, and I'm not going to say too much about the awareness police page. Whoever it is has dropped cash on many other beggars. So maybe that well has run dry, or maybe the plan to, be a friend and a foe and all that is running dry also. But yes, she has the same people in her life and no one is helping anymore. They'll drop a couple bucks here and there, but you can't cover $6,700. You can't put out 500 and more for a cat. And the lies are becoming extravagant. The stories are
You're right.
becoming more and more a problem. Meanwhile, we still don't hear you going out every day applying for a job. What happened to the
Right.
school? What happened to the school you were going to for phlebotomy? What's going on with that? Do you still have CPS on your ass? We don't hear any of that stuff.
Just the stuff that would engender somebody to give her money and feel sorry for her. Well, let the
Right.
people who are in there every day blowing your head up, making you think that you deserve the money, let them send it. But I just want y'all to know this account originally was a mutual of mine. And I made the mistake of saying friends when that's not what I meant because that's what TikTok calls it when you follow each other. So I said, it's so weird that we're friends while you talk shit about me to Lala. Now let me see if I could. I didn't bother to make like whatever, like my little pages so you could see everything. But let me see if I can find it.
So I'm sorry, I'm confused, and maybe a couple other people might be in the chat. That what you just showed is a person saying that you two are friends, but yet you're
No,
talking.
that
Oh,
was me saying how.
oh,
What
okay.
I was trying to say is how are we mutuals and you're sitting? Can somebody turn the comments off real quick? And yet you're talking crap about me to Lala.
Oh, okay.
That's what I was saying.
Okay.
Oh no, I don't want to comment. Can somebody turn the comments off? Okay. Wait, can you see it? Hold on. Let me go to another one. Cologuard Coder said they need to get real jobs and grow the F up. Let's see. And this was all related to them talking about me in the mask. They are some crazies on this app. I didn't get it together, but I
Mhm.
sent it to her and I was like, how are we friends? And that's what you're doing. And her response was like, friends, have the day you deserve.
Yeah.
Okay. You can try, leave the comments off anyway. But have the day you deserve? So why are you following me? Or were you just a spy for her so you could run back and tell her everything that I said? You don't have to do that though, because my live is on TikTok. I mean on YouTube. She can hear it. She can hear it.
Right. So it's either a flip
Anyway,
flopper. It's
oh,
either a flip flopper or it's a spy. And what's sad is you're a spy for a beggar, and you're not helping her. So who are you? What is your purpose?
right. To just sit in there and make her feel like her stories make sense.
Right. If you don't like what we're doing, give her the $6,700. Give her the
Right.
money. Nobody's saying you can't. We never tell you what to do with your money. Give her the 6,700. Go pick her up and take her to University of Penn so she can take that cat to the vet. Go help her. But you coming after us doesn't put a cent in her pocket.
It sure doesn't. And it doesn't stop us either. Anyway, Colin, I gotta do something else, so I
No,
gotta
thank
move
you.
on
Thank
from
you for
her.
speaking on her again and bringing light. I will be alerting the others, so thank you.
Okay, no, thank you. You do a
Have a good
great
day.
job. You too. Okay, so let's switch gears for a second. And the comments are off on purpose. So, I'm about to talk to you guys about something sensitive for me and address a couple of things along the way. And I'm going to share some things that I've never discussed publicly. And I want you also to know that you can support who you want to support. I don't. That's not my bag. People support me that other people don't like. So I am in no way, shape, or form suggesting that I can tell other people who they can and cannot support. But what I want you to know is that some of the same people who have such negative things to say about me, um, are out here doing shady shit. But I gotta tell you history to get you to where we are. Okay, so some of you may have seen this post. I'm not sure if you have or you have, but I want you to look at the little mask on the side. Looks familiar, doesn't it? And it says, to clear up some confusion, I don't owe you an explanation. I don't owe you an answer. I don't even owe you the truth. The reality is you are nothing to me and I'm nothing to you. Faceless, nameless entities online. Now, that's that. Now that that is clear, carry on. And you might have wondered, where in the hell did this come from and what is this about? Well, the math should have been a clue that it was about me, but you might not understand why. So, I'm gonna get there. We're gonna take a look back in time to the beginning of my time in awareness. I have told the story of being new and trying to support the right people. And there was a woman talking about Lisa, and she was the hot topic at the time. And so I thought she was on the right side of it. I found out later she was just a scammer using Lisa's story to make herself look better. But I didn't know that. And so when she ended her live, I went to look for another awareness live. Now, at this time, I had no intention on going live myself. I was the one who was in there because nobody knew me. I was so new that was writing people constantly. Please be careful. This person is a scammer. Save your money. That was my thing. I wasn't even making videos at the time. None of that. And so I go into this live and I immediately get attacked. Oh, we saw you in there saying you were going to support her 100%. And I'm like, yeah, I did. I didn't know she was a. And I eventually left feeling hurt. Like, damn, I'm new. And so that's why I've always tried to be kind to new people. I don't expect them to know what I know if they're new because they haven't been around long enough. Right? I try to go in when they're new and send them gifts. Tell them to keep doing a good job, that everybody is needed and wanted because of that experience. Well, there was another one that I haven't talked about publicly. There was one with Nookie and the Discord. This is where all of this started. So I joined a Discord and I was excited. This was the first time I had been in anybody's Discord. It was about awareness, and I was thrilled to death. I was new. I was still new to awareness, but I was brand new in the Discord. And the first thing I had to do was sign something about the rules. And there was like a no bullying policy that was brand new. And I was like, great, I feel safe in here. And so I was excited to introduce myself. I was so excited that I shared a picture of my granddaughter. Even though I read the rules, I thought it was not showing children of any of the scammers, but that wasn't the case. It was no children. Okay, now I know. But then I did a post where I introduced myself. And I'm like, hi, I'm digital, blah, blah, blah. I'm so happy to be here. And Nookie's response was something along the lines of, we have to do something about these introductions. And again, my feelings were hurt. Not even just because he said it, but because all of the women that liked it and laughed at it. And I'm like, that's how you treat somebody new? Like what is it? And I got in my feelings. And I asked, is it because I'm a black woman? Now I don't know what happened after, except videos started getting made about me. That I wasn't in it for the right reasons, I was a bad person, blah blah blah. But what people don't know is that I tried to fix it. And very few people know that. As you can see, this is Nookie's account. Let me read what I said. I said, hey, Nookie, I know we had a bit of a bad introduction to each other. This was December 2024, okay? Almost 2 years ago. I said, I'm still a newbie in the game and could have used an embrace instead of a kick in the teeth. But the longer I'm in, the more I know that there is a lot I don't know. There is still a ton to learn. It's important to me to have as many allies as possible. We have enough enemies with the scammers and their supporters. I can't stand the awareness drama with a passion. And I certainly don't want to be party to any of it. None of us can do it alone. You are an OT with lots of knowledge and expertise. So what I would appreciate putting a line under it so we can move forward. We are bound to end up in the same spaces, and I want there to be camaraderie and no animus. I truly appreciate what you do for the community and hope to have a similar impact when all is said and done. If you read this far, I appreciate you taking the time to read it. Keep pushing. It was never open. So then, several months later, I wrote this follow up in May of 2025. And I said, hey, I sent a message back in December. I'm assuming you get so many messages you didn't see this one. I'm hoping all is well with you, and I'm really hoping your YouTube channel comes back. I appreciate your hard work and dedication. Now, during this entire time, videos were being made. I was being trashed, and I kept waiting for a response. There never has been one, and I had to make peace with it. But that's where this all started. Then it was top 4 ways in the filter. I don't understand if people expect me to separate myself from my blackness, but that's like asking a woman to separate herself from her womanhood. I can't. And I happened to scroll into a live, and I saw that there was Sheena and somebody she was battling, and the one she was battling was black. And while they were both in a garbage can, the black woman is the one that had garbage on her. I in no way, shape, or form insinuated that anybody was a racist. I didn't know it was a filter for one. And for two, anybody coming through may be sensitive to that. Not people who know what's going on, but people who don't. So when he told me it was a filter, I was like, okay, cool. I didn't know it was a filter. But that's why I asked the question. Now, could I have asked it behind the scenes? Probably. But I was just trying to address it then. I never suggested she was racist. I never said it was racist. None of that. I just was wondering why was there only garbage on the black woman. Once I found out it was a filter, because I don't use filters ever, I was like, okay, cool. I even got in the box and said, I'm not calling you racist. I'm not suggesting that at all. I was just wondering. And now that I know that that's out of your control, please, let's move on. Then we have what happened in Skittles Live, where afterwards I came to you guys and said, I'm ready to go. Not because of Skittles, not because of anybody that was there, but because I wanted to crash out initially that somebody thought it was a good idea to pay somebody to say the N word while he was battling people of color. For me, that is no different than Fred the Builder, no different than Rowdy, no different than anybody. Because this is the reality. While Tank Lip is doing anything to get money, the people who are paying him want to see it. And they want to see the reaction of black people. And as I have shown you guys since, there are a number of things that happen on this app that are painful for people of color like myself. So in that moment, I felt like I had reached my limit. That if this is what I have to deal with to do this, I don't want it. And so, literally, over the course of the weekend, I cried, I grieved, I, again, felt hurt at the situation, not of anybody. And so I came to you guys on a Monday and said, I seriously thought about leaving, and this is why. I didn't mention anybody's name specifically. I was just telling the story. And what I said was the thing that hurt me is that I thought the people that respected me would say something. Now let's be clear. When it happened, there was silence. I had enough time to think, am I going to get in the box? No. Should I write something in the chat? No. Because I'm just going to crash out. And that's what this wasn't about. So it's better that I leave. In my presentation, I only said whose live it was because somebody happened to ask. I had no intentions on even raising that as an issue because it wasn't about anybody else. It's about how I felt and the tears that I shed. I didn't do it online. I didn't come live and cry. So then when there was a live held and Skittles was crying, I went over to be like, yo, I didn't call you racist. I didn't imply you were racist. I was talking about how listening to that made me feel. And I was questioned about did I go back and watch the whole live? Hell no. Why would I want to sit there and have to hear it again? Because it wasn't about other people. It was about how it made me feel, and I wanted you guys to know. But I got bashed. And there was one person in particular, there were lots of screenshots taken, but there was one person in particular that had a lot to say. See, I was there as melanated princess. Thank you, Georgie. But CaringSharon said, Dee Dee has done this before. Let me show you a few more. She will say stuff like I will be watching you has shown who you are. What is she talking? Not on this topic. She has done this before. Oops, I can't see because of this. Implying someone is racist with BS proof. It has happened to many. What many? And I didn't imply anybody in this live was racist. Ran with wrong info and still talked about it days later. Digital has called others racist. One lady in here said so. So because somebody said so in the chat, you just gonna run with it? And who have I called racist? Okay, I called Sheena racist. I've called Timothy Crawford racist. I've called Becky and her family racist. See, when I want to call somebody racist, I say it with my whole chest. I don't need to imply. Thank you, Vivian. I don't need to imply. I'll just say it. Now, if I think I see something that has racial overtones, and I think maybe I could help them understand that that's not right, I will. Because isn't that what we're a community of? But let's keep. You have implied others are racist. It's what you do. Okay, wait. Sorry. I don't want to get too. Nikki says the gold queen. Right. A lady in here said she has been too, and I have seen others. This is a pattern. Sharon, are like, do you watch me? And then she says, Gold Queen says, oh yeah, and she doesn't work alone. What does that mean? Sorry, that's a retweet. So I want you to notice, and this is pertinent. I want you to notice the profile photo of CaringSharon while that was happening. Okay? Pay attention. So, some of you know, some of you may not know, but I was in the live of somebody named Rowdy, who is a self-professed racist and a nationalist. And I happened to scroll by, never heard of him before, never seen him before, and I was listening for a while, and it bothered me that every black lady that got in the box just started screaming, cursing them out. While I understood their anger, believe me, I understood it. It played into the tropes that Rowdy and his friends were saying. See, they can't control themselves. They're just wild animals. Blah blah blah. And I didn't want that to be the last word. So I got in the box. And y'all know how I am in the box. I kept it cool on purpose because I was trying to change that narrative. That's all we do is yell, scream, hoop, and holler. And I happened to notice CaringSharon in there. And I'm like, isn't this interesting? So I asked the question. And this is the account that I asked. Same account for the record. But notice the profile has changed. The profile photo. And I have since been blocked. But let me see. It says, hey. She says hello to me in May 21st of 2026. Okay? So we're mutual. And I say, hey, I have a question. Why is it that whenever I'm in a race conversation, you pop up and have such negative, vile things to say about me? Let me show you the response. She says, what? I alerted Princess Peach to go there to support you. Just ask her. That live had me so mad I had to leave. I think maybe you have me confused with somebody else. I have nothing but good things to say about you. The only comment I made yesterday was that women too were held back in the workplace. I wanted to hear what the host said about that, since he couldn't seem to relate to people of color having been held back. I figured he at least had a mom and maybe a daughter or sister. I don't show private messages, but in this case, I will make an exception. And she showed me the conversation between herself and Princess. So I said, okay, maybe I do. Someone told me that in the live with Skittles, you were calling me race baiter. And that's all I do. But perhaps it was someone else. And I got the name wrong. My apology. And then it says, oh my God. That is horrible. I would never say that about you or anyone. And I wasn't in a live with Skittles, so for sure I'm mixed up with someone else. Sounds like a denial to me. Correct? Okay. So later on, went back to my files and some other people's files, and I found the photo of the proof. That you had a lot of things that were vital to say about. So after I sent it, I said, "Is this you?" And she said back to me, "That isn't me. I have the MS awareness picture." And then she told me that only two of the photos I sent will come through, so she can't comment on the others. What? It wasn't you? Okay. She was telling that I just get spinning, and we all know TikTok has that glitch right now. And she said, "It seems you have an issue with me for some reason, and that's okay. Not everyone likes everyone. As I told you, I messaged Princess Peach to come to that live to support you. However, this is now the second time you have messaged me, basically accusing me of something I didn't do. So I think it's best if I just do not interact with you further. I wish you nothing but the best." This is after, hold on, this is getting on my nerves. This is after you have lied to me. But it isn't me. Okay, it's not you. So I said, wait. I asked if you're somebody, you say no. I show you the proof I have, and now you're gaslighting me about having a problem with you? I said, if someone's following you, claims to support you, but is talking crap about you, I'm supposed to not ask? So then she says, from what I see, that person is saying someone else said you did something. But you were trying to add credence to what's being said about me based on what was heard. But you're still denying that it's you. Okay. It goes on for a while. She said she didn't know what a race baiter meant. She had to Google it. And I said, it has happened to me. I don't want to bore y'all with every little word. So I say, in the end, this is the reality. Name calling, trying to get me to change my point of view, or telling me to shut up about how I feel is never gonna work. Oh, up here she says, I don't think you're a race baiter. Cool. So he says, I will leave if I see you in a live going forward. I don't want anyone to think I'm following them around. And then she said, well, personally, I'm always open to changing my point of view, but you do you. Wait a minute. I missed the part. Hold on. Dang. Where is this? Did I not take a picture of it? I hate when this isn't slow. I apologize. I must have missed it. At one point there was a comment about asked around. They asked around to find out. I can't believe I don't have this screenshot. Okay. I don't have it, so I won't talk about it. Okay. But it wasn't me. Let's get back to where we were. So this was my response to her saying she wasn't gonna, if she saw me, she wouldn't be there. And I said, do as you wish. I don't really care who is where. I'm wondering if someone hates my point of view, why would I see their name whenever I'm discussing race? Just understand TikTok has eyes everywhere and everyone takes screenshots. And they are sent to me or the mods, so do you. Enjoy the app. Make it whatever you want it to be. You do you and I'll do me. Have a blessed week. And she says, you as well. And then she says, so wait, now you think you see my name whenever you're discussing race? Okay, got it. That's where it ended. I don't have anything more to say after I said have a blessed week. Now let me be clear. I never called or implied anyone was a racist. And if you felt like that's what I was doing, I apologize. Because if I think you're a racist, I'll just say it. I don't have to hold punches. But if I see racist tropes, or I see things that could be perceived as racist, it was my opinion that it was better for me to say something than be quiet. And now it seems like people just want me to shut up. Talk about awareness, but don't talk about race. But what I found interesting was that at 8:42, this was the name of the account at the start of our conversation. And at the end, we changed our names, blocked me, and then went private. Why would you have to do that if it wasn't you? If it had absolutely nothing to do with you? If you were so in support of me, why would you change your name and go private? And that really alerted me that something else was going on. So now I go back to this. This popped up right after that to clear up some confusion. I don't owe you an explanation. I don't owe you an answer. I don't even owe you the truth. The reality is you are nothing to me and I'm nothing to you. Faceless, nameless entities online. Now that that is clear, carry on. But again, do you notice what's in the corner? Anything look familiar? And for record, this will now say 3 days ago, and it's pinned on the top of the page. And look who posted. Awareness. I'm gonna let that hang there for a second. So the person who lauds themselves as being honest and open and willing to understand and just wants better for the community. She wants awareness to be better. You don't owe anybody the truth? Okay. just so you can see the entire account. That's the pinned. This was another one from AwarenessTea, as you can see. If only one person keeps implying you're racist, consider the source. Ask yourself, have they made similar accusations before? Have these accusations been supported by evidence? Have others questioned their judgment or interpretation? Being accused of racism is serious. So is making the accusation. Both deserve. Both deserve facts, content, and evidence, not assumption. Now, this wasn't 6 hours ago. This was a post that I took a picture of a long time. But you might not be aware that Awareness T and I had a conversation. And again, these photos were taken a while ago. Let me read it to you. Wait, I gotta start the other side. I'm sorry. I heard you said that me saying that you sound like your own voice was a microaggression. My comment was about your behavior, not your race. You publicly stated that you were moving from live to live, taking boxes, and my opinion was that you enjoy speaking in those spaces. If you disagree with my characterization, that's fair, but it was not intended as a comment about your race. As for me telling Maggie personally that it was wrong for me to have made cartoons, what about me apologizing to someone for my mistakes and poor behavior do you object to? Now, she didn't say I like to talk in spaces. She said that I like to hear myself talk. And she also said that I was dim-witted and stupid or something like that. So let's keep reading. Isn't taking ownership of doing something wrong a good thing? Furthermore, my one cartoon you highlighted some time ago was not Maggie being a bull. It was intended to be about Maggie's obsession at the time for oxtails. That was an ox. It was still wrong. The entire page, which by the way had a ton of awareness people laughing and sharing, was wrong. Now she calling y'all out for laughing at something she posted. I am not now, nor have I ever been a racist. You may not like me, and that is your choice. I have said publicly that I think you do a good job with awareness. Somebody find that for me, please. Because where? I can also think you were a box hopper, and that was my right to think so. Those two things are not mutually exclusive. To try to paint me as a racist is wrong, and I would appreciate if you would stop doing that. Thank you for taking the time to read this, if you do so. And then I need to highlight the very last line. Make that a slide. So, was she trying to get me to understand her point of view, or was she using it as a way to try to kick me in the teeth at the same time? I never called her racist. What I said was that saying that I like to hear myself speak, calling me dim-witted, those were microaggressions. And that comparing black people to animals has been a racist trope for 250 years. It goes back to us being three-fourths a human. We were counted like we were cattle. I have told you guys in the past that I stopped looking in my history when I saw my great great grandmother listed as if she was a part of their cattle. And if you guys remember, I did a live where I talked about those tropes. I talked about the fact that someone else can't tell me if I see something as a microaggression. And I explained why those were microaggressions. When a black woman gets upset or elevated, she's seen as disrespectful or angry or inappropriate. But when other people elevate and get upset, they're seen as passionate. It's the same thing in healthcare. When black women complain about pain, they're seen as trying to get medications or over exaggerating their pain. Look it up if you don't believe me. There is study after study after study. So if I point out that something is a racist trope, I'm not calling you a racist. In my understanding, I don't even think you know what you're doing when you do it. It's just comfortable to you. You don't see anything wrong with it. But me telling you that it's wrong isn't implying that you're a racist. It's implying that you don't even know what you're doing. So let me show you. But to then at the end say, make that a slide, did that sound like somebody who was trying to talk about it, get an understanding? No. You want it to be slick. So let me tell you how I responded. I said, I almost responded to explain why it is a microaggression, to give you some insight on behavior that is 250 years old, that has carried on in this country. People who do not look like me may see no problem with, but it's a problem for me and people who look like me. I've never once heard you compliment anything about what I do. Compliment anything that I do, I'm sorry. For the record, I was box hopping at the time, not because I like to hear myself speak. It was because I wanted to be friends with everybody. I don't want to get caught up in the drama of awareness. It wasn't to hear myself talk. Additionally, I didn't even see it. I get on shoot about the messages. I didn't see her messages. I said I get on average 100 messages a day. AwarenessTea just went live. Isn't that interesting? Anyway, it wasn't to hear myself talk. Additionally, I didn't even see it. I get on average 100 messages a day, so it takes me a long time to see all of them. The end of your message, make that a slide, means that you actually don't want to hear what I had to say. You just wanted to say what you wanted to say privately. Say la vie. She said something after that, but I was already done. Since then, though, her and I have had multiple public conversations. She's asked me to get in her box. So after that conversation and after the live that I held about racist tropes, not racist people, racist tropes and microaggressions, she posted this. I know my heart, I know my intentions, and if I offended someone, I'm truly and sincerely sorry. And she made sure to say that she's not racist. Never said she was racist. I said those were racist things. And why are you engaging in them? And she would have had the opportunity for me to lay it out for her. But make that a slide? You know. So I came to tell y'all, because you guys are who matters. Dang, y'all went running over there. Y'all was nosy as hell. Anyway, I'll hear about it. I'm not worried about it. And then she made this post. I'm always learning and I'm willing to do better. Okay, cool. But don't forget this post. I have many, many other accounts. Some post, some don't. Some related to awareness, some don't. Some chat, some don't. So I offer this. AwarenessTea's happy camper is CaringSharon. And why are you trying to engage with me as if you're two separate people? And why, if you want to have the standard of telling the truth, are you lying and feel like you don't need to tell the truth? Y'all okay with that? Now, while I'm here and I'm addressing everything, I'm going to address this. So, we all remember Senior held a live with and about Tampa Home. In her post about it, she said people would be allowed to ask questions. But she didn't define how it would happen, when it would happen, and y'all know we are some question asking people because we want to get to the bottom of it. And after her live, or I shouldn't say, during her live, a lot of us were asking questions, myself included. Now, I didn't know a lot about Tampa Homeless, but what I did know was that he had done some things that I didn't think were cool with dogs, with puppies, with babies. And OG got in the box and got everything she needed by asking him certain questions. And I was more flabbergasted. Like, what? The four puppies you don't have survived? You buried them and then dug them. Like, what? But our other concern were the daughters. And at this point, the daughters have been taken, if I'm not mistaken. So all of us were interested. And Senior decided to start the live. It's her live. She can do whatever she wants by asking Sam Hunter about his background. Now, I'll admit, I didn't want to hear about that. Because to me, it was setting up a pity party. But it's not my life. I can't tell you what to do. But I'm sure wondering why are we starting it. I know most of us wasn't there for that. Because I could tell by the comments. But okay. Now you can do one of two things. You can have your mods mute the comments you don't like, or you can turn the comments off like I have, so that you can stay focused. She did neither. And at one point, Hunter got frustrated because, like, the TikTok was glitching, and then the questions, and then the accusations about the dogs. He left. And then she screamed and yelled at me solely, not the chat, not all the people asking questions, just me, and ended the live. And then I saw that Hunter went live on his account. Let's be clear about that. And then I went live because I realized the live she was hosting no longer existed. And I felt obligated to defend myself. Because why, out of the hundreds of people that were in there, you're yelling at me? So then she made a post, and I'm going to read this. She said, "Peace out, awareness. To the dysfunctional, drama-addicted, attention-seeking weirdos, I wish you exactly what you've earned. May your group chat stay messy." What group chats are messy? People who are in my group chat. Is it messy? Okay. Your screenshots stay blurry. Your stories stay inconsistent. And your fake outrage keep you busy. I'm choosing peace, receipts, and a life that doesn't revolve around monitoring strangers on the internet 24/7. Beg talk, toxic, attention seeker, and then my name. And while she did this announcement that she was leaving awareness and it was my fault, she also made sure to say that I was a race baiting. You know what cracks me up about people who go live at the same time you're live? It's for two reasons. They don't want to hear what you have to say, and they don't want you to be able to hear what they've said. Because why not wait? Why not wait for me to finish? But that's easy. I'm sorry. That just crossed my mind. My fake outrage? And then I sit around and monitor strangers on the internet for 24/7. Does anybody remember her Tim Nash whiteboard? She was the Tim Nash expert. It didn't get any more intense than her watching Tim Nash. So what are we doing? But okay. But you had to add that I was a race baiter. And what she did when she called it is she said her husband is black and she's biracial as if to justify the sentiment. Because her proximity to blackness and her husband being black solidifies the statement. She wasn't there for any of what happened, but she's going to stick by it. And by the way, in that live, there wasn't a single statement made by me nor anyone else about race. So why did you tie that to your leaving awareness? There are people on this app that do awareness that I don't like. Are we okay? So let's run to the comments. American Woman said, "They despise educated, powerful, unbiased women. You never been anything but respectful. I don't blame you one bit, but you'll be missed. I'm only adjusting my sail. Am I not an educated, powerful, unbiased woman?" I thought that was funny. This one said, "I don't know what's happening, but there's always been this crazy war on if you should have gifts on or off if you're awareness. I think the awareness creators do a lot of work besides going live. They do a lot of research and provide us with a lot of information. Therefore, in my opinion, all awareness should have their gifts on. I'm sorry, you're very educational." Because in her, and you got, it's still there. Y'all could go find it. She makes mention that when she goes live and her gifts are on, she only gets 8 cents. How is that my fault? But you say that to imply like I'm getting big money. Why is it that other people who are in the tent can get thousands of dollars? No comments are made, no videos are made. But because I have my gifts on, I'm the trash of awareness. And see, me and my brain, while I lay at night and try to think about it, the only difference is that I'm a black woman. Now people are gonna say, there she goes race baiting. I asked you to do this. Tell me why. Maybe I haven't thought of a valid reason for why I'm beaten over the head for something other people did. Tell me why. I just want to know. Somebody enlighten me why. It's a problem that I do it. People make videos about me, about it. Like I'm a bad person. Like I don't work hard. Like I don't watch scammers and report what I see. And Scam Fam, I'm sorry, but I have to show this one. Because Senior then turned around. Oh God. La, you're here. That's hilarious. Um, Turned around and blocked everybody I was talking to. She even called out Love to Scar. Scam Slam said, I don't know about your lives until about an hour prior, and I entered late, unfortunately, but if your live stream announcement, it stated we could ask questions to Hunter in the chat. That's what I was there doing, asking legitimate questions in the chat, questions which were directed at Hunter. Now, let me just pause this. Like I said, there was no organized way to ask questions. So people were asking questions in the chat. I couldn't even keep up with the chat. There were so many questions. I was not there for drama, and neither was I. I primarily observed myself and other people who were asking legitimate questions in the chat. I didn't hear or see anything mentioned about race at all. This was her response. That's very nice of you to explain your take on things. People could ask questions, which they weren't getting answered because questions weren't being addressed. So people were just asking questions without response. People could ask questions, but I was trying to lay a foundation and I was being attacked in the comment section. That I was accused of doing it for likes and views. Now I have a pretty good memory. And I don't remember ever questioning her motivation. If she can prove otherwise, have at it. What I did have a problem with, that I felt like us talking about his history was giving him a sympathetic story. That's how I felt. And he already had a caseworker because his children had been taken. And so my question was, well, what more could we offer him? Or you in particular? And at one point, she said that she had spent an hour with him on the telephone prior to the live. I have never talked to a scammer on the telephone. But if you talked to him on the phone, why didn't you offer him the resources while you were on the phone? Why did it need to happen publicly? Now, those are my questions. You do it how you want. But each of us are allowed an opinion, right? Or am everybody else allowed an opinion but me? She said, that's what I was accused of doing it for likes and views. When I do this as a hobby. But I won't be anymore. And as for the racial comments she makes all the time, maybe she didn't mention it this time, but it's usually a point of contention for me. Why would you bring it up? If this wasn't just character assassination, to just enemy of my enemies are my friends, and you don't like me, so you're just gonna add to the pile on. It didn't even make sense. And if more people other than me were making comments that you didn't like, why was it about me solely? You could have said people made comments. I didn't like Digital's comments. But you made your exit about me, and that's it. And then this name was familiar because it says, I'm so sorry that happened. Please don't leave awareness. Honestly, I don't watch digital because you hold lives behind a paywall. People in awareness don't hold awareness lives on sub lives. My niece is married to a black man and my niece is biracial. I'm tired of the race baiting from her. Again, so your proximity to blackness is more important than me being black? What I also find interesting is that I have watched white people have entire lives about somebody being racist. They're not called a race baiter. I've watched them call out other awareness people or other people within communities for being racist. And they're not called a race baiter. But because I'm black, I can't talk about it. I can't share my personal experience. But see, screenshots don't lie. As you can see, this is an AwarenessTea live. And guess who else is in there? Axel Rose mom. I don't even know who she is. But she says, no, AwarenessTea asked her to take a box because she was talking crap about me in the comments. And she said, no, I don't take boxes, thank you. Judy played the race card with Senior. When? When did I play the race card with Senior? When? And to make this easy, these were all her comments in that live. Go look at Nikki's videos, I'm not wrong. I've heard Dee Dee use the race card so many times, it's not acceptable to do that. But you don't watch me. Senior made a video about it. Because she was upset at my questions and she said I'm a race baiter and her husband thinks so too. Let me ask you something. If I talk about somebody bad to my mister, whose side do you think he's gonna take? And do you think I'm gonna highlight all the great things about that person before I trust them to? No, that's not reasonable. So she only told her. It's only reasonable to think that she told her husband all the bad things about me, and then said, "Isn't that a race baiter?" He's never watched me, I'm sure. The senior's video about it was her being upset that she was leaving TikTok. Again, it seems like everybody else can have feelings, but I'm supposed to leave mine at the door. And then Spicy Lady asked Axel Rose where she could find the videos. And Axel Rose told her, I'll message you. And she said, okay. One final thing. This video by Awareness Exposed Truth, they went away for an entire year and came back. They went after Jess, they went after Mandy, and now I'm back on the list. We see you digital deceivers. What do you see? What do you see? And you compared me to somebody else I've never even heard of. We all know that I had no intentions of showing my face, which is why I never went live. But I kept getting violated, so I put a mask on to avoid the violation. But why aren't we? If you have a problem with my mask, how many other creators don't show their face? So why is mine with a mask any worse or any different? They also suggested that I do awareness behind the paywall. First of all, I'm not the only person with subs, but I'm the only one called out for it. There have been many times that I have made the mistake of not making it a sub-only live, and everybody's there to hear it. For people who are unaware, I do a 1 hour live on Sunday night with the subs. And everybody who subs to me is a part of a group chat, one or two. And the reason why there's a one or two is because there's a maximum number of people, or it would have been one. And then I have a chat for the mob. So I was doing 9 hours a week of live. 9 hours a week. Not behind the paywall. But you're going to drag me for the 1 hour I do? The 1 hour. You think that I don't tell everybody what I've said in that 1 hour? You want to know what the last show live was about? I asked them if I should get another account to tell my story. I asked them how they felt about me going Monday and Friday and leaving Wednesday out. And then they got a preview. No, then I asked, is there anything they'd like me to focus on more? And the answer was the supporters and enablers. And then I read them a preview of people I was going to talk about on Monday. What awareness is happening behind the paywall? But if somebody's going to sub to me, they should get something for it. But here we go, making another video. Where it says their faces face unexpected, that was because of someone who used to use a mask. I don't know them. I don't know why they were using a mask, but I've explained why I'm using a mask 3 million times. And if you have a problem with it, you don't have to watch me. There are other people doing awareness. You don't have to like me, but dragging me every chance you get is a little weird. If I'm doing the same thing you're doing, I do it differently. I tell a story based on what they say and do. And I do so many because the goal is to help people see the pattern, see the manipulation. Because it's real easy to see it in somebody you don't watch. But for people who watch a person in particular and are fond of them, they can't see it. And how did I learn that? By talking to people who used to be mobs and supporters. Again, do it however you want to do it. But leave me alone. All of this is done in an effort to disparage my character or to silence me. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. I'm going to still be here every Monday and Friday doing my thing. Do yours. Do whatever works for you. Do not pretend that you were honest and forthright and unbiased and then show and prove that you're the exact opposite of that. That you have this expectation that awareness could be better while you do fuck shit behind the scenes. Don't do it. And I don't know what you guys expect to come out about me, but what's so crazy is y'all know who my man is. Y'all seen him. Are y'all okay? So you may notice a new background. People like to make fun of my name. Someone came in here the other day and said, "Hi, Deceiver." Let me explain it for the people in the back. My name is Digital Deceiver Shadow because people are using technology, whether it be the app or a payment app, to deceive other people out of their money. And I'm lurking in the shadows. I'm watching so that I can try to prevent them from them taking advantage of another person. And as someone said the other day, if I help one person, that's enough. I don't go after family or try to find out every little thing about them. I use what they do and what they say on TikTok to prove them the deceiver that they are. Period. But in the equation, I am the shadow. I'm not the digital. I'm not the deceiver. I'm the shadow. And I thought that was easy to understand, but clearly it wasn't. So, you can refer to me as DD, DDS, digital, or shadow even. Don't call me the deceiver, because that I'm not. I have no reason to. Now, right before I turn the comments back on, I need to say this. I want to thank Be the Boss and Queen Becca for their videos. They brought tears to my eyes because at the end of the day, I know somebody got me. And the comments in there warms my heart as well. Thank you, Shannon. Because I feel like I'm being seen for what I do and not what I look like. That I'm being appreciated for the values that I bring the community. And that my goal is never to tear the community apart, not to help create drama. And what's crazy is everybody told me I need to go behind the scenes, talk behind the scenes, ask questions behind the scenes. And I took that on board. Don't lie to me. Don't gaslight me. Because I'm going to let everybody know. So for these two, if you're not following them, follow them. I appreciate that. Next, these six ladies, let me tell you something. They saved y'all from a lot. They have been loyal and consistent. They give me advice. They send lies in the group chat so I could see things I couldn't see or answer some of my questions. But not only do they support me, they make sure that the lives we have here remain unadulterated. They've remained focused on what we're here for. And so I want to publicly and personally thank each one of them. And if you're not following them, please do so. They are the fastest way to me. There are other people I want to thank, but I don't want to get into a pissing contest. Everybody knows how I feel about Fallon. She's my red line. But I want to thank y'all. Because whether you like me or not, whether you're here just to hear what I'm going to say, you don't really support me, I don't care. As long as you're getting the information. As long as you're eager to decide to help other people not get taken advantage of. But for those of you who are here consistently, whether you gift me or not, become a member of the team or not, I appreciate it. Because when I'm tired, you inspire me to get up. Making sure that I offer my perspective, thank you Mel, so that you can see and hear what happened is my motivation. So thank you. This is a community. This is quote unquote my platform, but this is for us. I talk between 3, 4, and sometimes 5 hours at a time. Thank you guys. But it wouldn't happen if it wasn't for you. So thank you. Thank you. Now, mods, turn on the comment. And the boxes are open. If anybody would like to ask me a question, thank you, Scam. If anybody has a comment, but see, when you want people to stay focused, when you want to make your point and you don't want to be interrupted, that's all you have to do. I love you guys. Believe me, I love you guys. And let me also say this. I didn't bring any of this stuff up to cause problems between me and any other creator. That's not the point. The point is to show you what I deal with behind the scenes. The stuff you might notice or not see. And I took people's advice. I talked to people behind the scenes. Thank you. I know you guys. Yes, I'll be talking about Sheena. And I'll probably talk about Colton too. Thank you. But I want to just make sure, is there anybody who wants a box? Now, I'm not telling you to take a box and be like, we love you, Judy. If you have a question about anything that I said or posted, thank you. Good morning, Cherry Blossom. Okay, all right. Let's get back to regular scheduled programming because what are we doing now? This is what I have to say about Sheena. I said on Monday, and the poll I just posted on YouTube so you can see it. I sure did, Nikki. I, Michelle, I agree. I agree wholeheartedly. Oh, thank you, Call Me Nobody. I hope you enjoy your time on the water. Hold on, my eye. Allergies are killing me. But I didn't want to take any Benadryl because I'd be on here. Woo. Anyway, I told y'all on Monday, thank you, Nikki, that Sheena was putting all all her faith in one basket called Ghosted. And that was going to be her downfall. Because let's remember, when she got to A1, she was popping her collar. Every comment was because somebody was jealous of her, that everybody was mad that she was at A1 and blah, blah, blah. And she turns right around without knowing a single thing about Ghosted, according to her, and made her a mod. Or him. I don't really know. Ghosted sounds like a woman to me, but it could be anything. Let me just say they. And so, thank you, Marion. And so, I could foresee the problem. She always talks about the team she created until someone comes in there and starts gifting her big. And then it's not about anybody. She'll be like, oh, thank you, Becca. Ghosted! Wasn't it funny how Ghosted kept winning the prizes? Hey, Sheep Show. Ghosted kept winning the prizes. Every conversation was about Ghosted, and I don't know who Ghosted is. And then she came on one day to announce that for some reason that she doesn't understand, Ghosted has walked away. Bitch, who's crying now? Who's upset now? And then it's the things she did that again are 100% manipulation. So she starts off by saying, I think they came from the trolls. And then she said, I don't have any proof. I don't have any proof. This is hypothetically speaking. And then went on to talk about how this person said she was going to face a downfall. That person said she was going to face a downfall. That person said a crash out was coming. Girl, we could see a crash out coming because you thought that you did something to get there. She even said, I don't care. I got there. I got there. I got to A1. But you absolutely expected to stay in A1. You thought that you were special. That somehow there was something about you in particular that made people want to keep you in A1. You had one person sending you enough money. One. And somehow you thought the tide had turned. But it can't be Sheena or the shenanigans with her and her sisters. It has to be the trolls. It has to be the haters. It has to be. Now, I don't know if that's true or not. It could be true. If somebody wants to hate on me enough to send me $6,000, please do so. My account name is Digital Deceivers Shadow, and I go live Monday and Friday now. If you want to waste that amount of money on somebody you don't like, I'm right here. What are we doing? But okay, cool. You started to pop your collar. You made that person a mod. And then tried to say it wasn't because they gifted you. Bitch, do we look stupid? You made them a mod, and I said this on Monday. You made them a mod because you were hoping that by they being a mod, that they would stick close to you. You gave them what you consider to be a privilege, and then they would feel obligated to be there when you went live so that they could gift you all day, every day. She got over $5,000 on Wednesday from last week from just the gifts. And so that's telling you that TikTok took some of that money. But other people gifted her. You wouldn't know it though, because it was just about ghosted. Hey Holly, it was just about gifted. I mean ghosted. And it's so funny because I said on Monday, it's an appropriate name because ghosted her ass. But she tried to lie and tell people she didn't have any idea. But because she knows or she thinks she can prove something, and this is what I love about what they do, because they tell on themselves. I do not need to make it up. She showed where Ghosted said, I think I'm going to have to take a step back because everything going on with you and your family. So what do you mean you don't know why? Ghosted, okay, Holly, Ghosted told you exactly why she was, or they were leaving. They didn't leave you in the dark. And I found out finally what happened. I'm not going to talk about it because the whole thing feels sketchy. But I know that for me, I wouldn't want my name associated with that nonsense. Soccer mom is going to. Let's talk about that. So the moment Ghosted left, soccer mom returned. By the way, guys, is that the same soccer mom that's supporting Rose? Let me know. I tried to ask Rose last night. She didn't answer my question. Wait, what did she just say? Correct. They don't have to announce their departure. But they told you. They told it is. Thank you. I knew it. Anyway. And then she tried to, after crying, tried to pretend like she didn't care that they were gone, that they paid her electric bill off, so that's all that matters. But let's remember, she got $5,000. The electric bill she paid was only 3,300. So that means that you had what, $1,800 left over? Why don't you pay your tax bill, honey? Why don't you get that off your neck? But she won't. She just gonna buy shit because she feels like she deserves it. That's all. She's not gonna be responsible. She bought a new bed. But did she tell y'all, I need a new bed? I need a new bed. My bed was broken. No, she bought a vacuum. You go t-shirt and rented it. She rented the bed? Wow. But every time you talk to her or see her live, she's crying about a bill. crying about how they can't keep up. Smart person, a smart person, would have put that in their pocket for the oil bill that's coming up. No? Wouldn't that make sense? Listen, when I was first married at 19, we went and rented like a television, I think, or something. And my father, I was letting my husband make that decision. And my father sat us down with the paperwork and said, "Do you see how much you're going to pay for this TV?" I was 19. I have never rented a thing from like Rent a Center or any of those places ever again. Unless I only needed it. I don't even think I've done it when I needed something temporary. I don't think I've ever been back. But like, I could see myself if there was a certain thing, a very limited period of time, and I wasn't gonna need it any further. I might rent something. When my husband passed away, I rented the tents we used in my parents' backyard. I'm never gonna use those again. But my bed that I sleep on, I'm gonna rent that. Right, Nikki? Like, there makes sense when there are times. But your bed? You're renting a gaming system, but then begging people for money? Yo, we'll have it when we have the money for it. That's how you, like, this is how someone keeps themselves perpetually in need. They make poor financial decisions and then want other people to pay for it. Oh, yes, of course. Listen, I'm not knocking somebody who needs it as a stepping stone. I'm knocking somebody who's on TikTok constantly begging about what they need. You're renting stuff but can't pay your electric bill. And let's be clear. She knows the laws. The laws are similar in Connecticut because it gets so cold. A, there's assistance for oil to heat your furnace if you qualify financially. They are also not allowed to turn off your electricity in the winter. So she just said, screw it. They can't turn it off, I'm not going to pay it. She claimed she needed it for oil. So here we are. Your electric bill is finally paid off from the gifts of TikTok. Let's be clear. You know the winter is coming, and it comes sooner for you than most. You know you are going to need oil, and you spent it on other nonsense. Correct this. So what's going to happen in the winter when the oil is due? Are you going to cry to these people? I need you to do this in half a year. She made $75,000. You have got to be kidding me. And you're renting stuff? And you haven't paid your tax bill? See, Sheena, I don't have to set you up to see you come crashing down. Your poor decisions are why you crashed down. You haven't built a team. You built a bunch of sycophants, most of which can't afford to help you. They'll send you a rose. They'll send you a heart me from now and again. And then you have the sycophant who will bust their butt, credit cards, loans, you name it, to send you money. But at some point, everybody has to stop. Brian, you're right. Here goes one, and here goes one, and here goes one. What you gonna do about it? What you gonna do about it? Are you the only one that could see roll here, roll here? Hmm? You the only one? Or did you just want to be seen making the comment? Well, you had your moment of fame. You won't get in a box and debate me, though, about what I'm talking about. Oh, yeah, Melanie. I think so, too. Because suddenly she had them to take. Listen, like I tell people, I'm not even that old, but make it to my age and show me what you're going to do. Show me what you've made of your life. That's right. Money can't keep you happy because she got it. She wants to say she doesn't care. That she wants to go back to D because it's possible. It's easier for people. But when she got to A1, it wasn't about any of those people that support her. Of course, it's the go-to to body shame. Even though I have tried to help other people not body shame, and I don't body shame, but that's the go-to. As if, as if anything somebody said to me on TikTok could hurt my feelings. Mister likes my rolls. You don't have to. Okay? The people who love me like everything about me. So you are a nobody nothing on TikTok. It makes me know never mind. You know what I say? What do I always say? If you don't feed me, fund me, or fuck me, your opinion of me doesn't matter. And I want y'all to hold on to that. And when you feel bad about it, say that to yourself over and over again until you believe it. Because that's what people are going to do. When they can't discredit what you do, they try to discredit you. Get in a box and challenge me. Otherwise, shut up. So I'm waiting for oil time. I'm waiting for the day that the state smacks her in the face with that tax bill. Because she so cavalierly the other day said to her sister, when her sister was like, yeah, you don't have nothing to worry about but that tax bill. And she was like, I'll just make a payment plan and pay it. Then do that, man. Where you at? You are the smartest. Let me just be clear. You are one of either the dumbest or ignorant person I've seen on TikTok that has made it to this level. You never seem to understand. Thank you, Brienne, for helping with the live. I appreciate it. Um, I've never in my life seen somebody who thinks they know everything consistently make the wrong decision and then make it the problem of the troll. Never in my life. Never in my life. So, as you know what I always say, keep doing you, Sheena, and the same outcome will happen. And so it was funny about Soccer Mom because once Ghosted was gone, Soccer Mom showed back up and showed out. And guess who was looking for her last night? About 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning. Rose. She said, "Where's Soccer Mom? Haven't seen her in a while." So are the both of y'all taking advantage of Soccer Mom? Well, Sweet Wicked, she deserves it. She deserves it. She's making hella money while taking advantage of the taxpayers of Maine and the nation, if we want to be honest, because Medicaid is a 50-50 venture. The feds pay 50%, which comes from your taxes, and the state pays 50%, which comes from the taxes of the people of Maine. Tell them, Granny Ann. Right. But anybody with any sense will keep money behind for the oil bill, right? No, you want to be able to prove to people that you're living a life you can't afford. I heard her say, it was so funny because she went outside talking about that cafe and she's like, "I can't show it, I can't go there, I've been trespassed." Now, she was excited to say that she could record anything, which is true, which also means anybody can record you. Ain't that interesting? But that they had every right to tell her she was trespassed. And I bet you she stuck to it. I bet you this time she didn't say, "I could do what I want." Because, baby, you know when you're crossing the line. Yeah, you know. You know. Listen, if people are going to send it to her, as long as you know who she is and you're going to send it to her, please be my guest. Keep her. And they, yes, the dogs and the cats do need vet care. Of course she gets herself. And so she could see she was going to lose A1, and she's like, "I'm okay with it." Well, I really liked it because the payout was so much better. I got such a bigger percentage, and I really wish I could keep it. Tell me who you are. No, let me change that. Show me who you are, and I'll tell you who you are. That's all. That's all that's necessary. Okay. I never get to her, and I need to real quick. She can't see her kids anymore. Her visits have been suspended. Just as she's making accusations that someone is doing something inappropriate. Wait, what? No one ever saw. No one can ever explain babbling to me. I will never. Call it BS. I struggle with it too. I cannot see giving somebody thousands of dollars for sitting there saying, come on team, let's go." And I also find it equally as disturbing that people gift just because of the drama. I understand why young thinking people gift Yazzie, but you're gonna gift her into a problem. Because y'all find her funny. Y'all are gonna gift her and support her into a problem. But Tashanique can't see her children. Now, she won't tell the truth because she never does. But When they ask you to take a DNA test, it's not a request. It's not even a suggestion. You got to do it. And when you refuse to do so, the powers that be have levers. Correct. That you gave Tish? Yeah, four color girl. When they have things that they can take away from you. And see, Zim is one of those people that thinks if she gets louder and more indignant, that people will acquiesce to her desires. The people don't care. So I got this from exposure. There was a determination hearing, and they found that she wasn't doing all she could do to try to get her kids back. And we know that based on the amount of time she spends on TikTok and claims she has a job. I don't have my children, and I need to prove it. I'm gonna have two, maybe three jobs. I'm gonna want to bust my butt, not only for my children to get them back, but to provide them the life they deserve. She still thinks that TikTok is going to provide the life her kids deserve. I promise you it's not. Hey, Explosion, I promise you it's not. Because if it was, it would have happened already. But she's so quick to pop off at the mouth, to say anything to everybody, and then what does she end up doing? She cries. Oh, oh, look at what happened to me. Look at what they did to me. Look at the haters. But then she had the nerve to ask for $75,000 for a lawyer. For what? That can't be to come after the trolls. That sounds like the kind of money you would need to try to get your kids back. Scrolling and smoking, I didn't see her yesterday. If somebody saw her yesterday and have the evidence, like can talk about what she did, take a box. See, $75,000 isn't coming after us. You know you can't get your kids back. And I said the other day, part of the reason why I think she doesn't care is because in her young, immature mind, she thinks, I'm 25, 26. I can have six more kids. Come up, babe. You know you have an open door to come up here and slow them. So you take these six. Right. She claimed she was going to get furniture and she was going to take them with her to get furniture for her two-bedroom apartment. And she's popping her collar. You do know you won't get your kids back with a two-bedroom apartment and you have six. Right? Again, why are we popping collars? Right. And then she posted an old video of shopping. How did people figure that out? Because of the nails she had on. In the video, it was green nails, and we know recently they've been white tips. Right, Japonica? But she popping her collar like she doing something big. You should have been doing that all along. Right. And then ask for $650 for school supplies with kids she doesn't have. My question is this, you're working now. So why aren't you promoting, why aren't you taking your paycheck and getting your kids school supplies? And then she was like, I got 6 children. What does A Blessing need for school? And then she did that. Her and Tish gave permission and encouraged Claudia to say the N word. And this is all I have to say to that. Just like everything else, that's going to blow up in your face. Because you giving Claudia a level of clout on TikTok where she feels safe. But because of y'all, people know exactly who they are. Mama
Hey,
G, go
Digital.
find, hey, go find somewhere else to play.
I
Because
want to
this
show
ain't
you
the
the
place.
video. She was in Tish box yesterday, so I want to show you the video of what she said. I have to turn my camera on. Hold on.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. This is yesterday while she was in Tish box, everybody. And this is what she said about her kids. And I'll let it replay over and over. I think somebody mentioned or asked her about her kids in the chat. And then this was her response. Fuck them kids and fuck you too. I just told you already, bitch. Fuck them kids and fuck you too. I just told you already, bitch. Fuck them kids and fuck you too. I just told you already, bitch. Fuck them kids and fuck you too. Can y'all hear it? Already, bitch. Fuck them kids and fuck you too. I just told you already, bitch. Fuck them kids and fuck.
I'm sorry, y'all. My phone died. I didn't get bananas. My phone died. I stopped paying attention. I'm sorry, Exposure. If you want to come back up, please do. I was like, what? My phone just died. Yo, did y'all hear that though? Hey, Miss Coffee. I'm so happy to see you, love. Did y'all hear that? She said F them kids and F you too. Because somebody asked about the kids. That is crazy work. Thank you, little bit. Hey, Luna. She also, why she spending so much time in Tish's box? She used to just handle it on her own. But then you gonna hand Tish a DNA test but won't do one for the state? Correct. Her money bags are gone. She acts like we didn't watch how she treated them. Okay, Fiona. Oh, now she's on meds. Ha! Let me go back to Sheena real quick. Sheena's reaction. Hold on. I gotta do this, and I gotta show her face when I'm saying it. Sheena's reaction to what's her name? Ghosted leaving is literally DPD at its finest. Borderline personality disorder. And y'all know I know because I have it. But that's why when I say you never graduate, you never really graduate. And I don't see how she could have gone through DBT, which is the treatment for borderline personality disorder. And this is why I say that. Because one of the very first things they teach you is that you have to find the joy within yourself. We will describe our worth based on the reactions of other people. So if you like me, I feel good. If you love me, I feel good. And the moment you take it away, I crumble because my entire setup is based on my job or my love life or my family life. And my therapist said to me, she asked me a question. She said, what are you proud of in your life? And I did the BBT thing, the BPD thing. I was like, oh, my parents have been married this long. I love my grandchildren, my son. I have a quality family. And she just took along, yep, yep, yep. And she said, you do realize that all of those things can go away. Everything you said is external. You will always have severe up and down because you're making yourself worse about other people and not yourself. She hasn't learned that. And she seems to think that medication fixes her and that's all she needs. And then everything else is left to, well, I have a disability. I have a mental health condition. That's not the end of the story. And medications don't fix everything. And so when I hear people use mental health to excuse bad behavior, nah, nah. When I see somebody do something bad, like shoot up a school, and they're like, oh, well, they had a mental health condition, it pisses me off. And you want to know why? I'm not saying that they aren't sick. They are. Yes, lady, like I do. What gets me is that there are millions of people around the world who have mental health conditions that have never committed a crime. So I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear their bad behavior. Let me do this. Hopefully, I won't get a violation. Correct, lumpy pillows, but I don't accept that. So let's let's bring up the other one. Miss Catharine. Now, on Thursday morning, she went live at 8:30 in the morning because she had told everybody that she was getting an apartment the next day. Girl, did you see? I got that photo, by the way. I'm gonna show it for. I'm gonna show that photo real quick, and then I'm gonna take it off. Oh, you guys can't see it. Hold on. Dang it. What are we doing, ma'am? What are we doing? She's done it multiple times. Anyway, like she's done that multiple times. So she says she can't get in touch with them. And the moment she can't get in touch with them, guess what she says? I hope it wasn't a troll. You know how they are on here. What? And I asked, well, how would anybody know where you're living or where you called? Because later she says that it happens to be an apartment she applied for already. So unless you are telling people your business, how would anybody know? But she keeps going with that same line. I bet you. I bet you. I bet you it was a troll. I bet you it was a hater on here. And of course, the people in her chat are like, oh, that would be so wrong. They're crazy. Nah, that's not what happened. But see, that's the manipulation they always use. It had to be somebody from TikTok. It always has to be. But that turned out to be a lie. And what was funny, her own son called her out and said the exact same thing I said. Who did you tell? Because he was like, did they call you and say, Mrs. B, this is such and such from such and such? And she's like, yeah. So he's like, so how was that a troll? And who did you tell for a troll to show up? So then she comes back because the people in her chat are like, it's apartment day, like let's go. They think they've been paying her for her to stay in a hotel and she's about to get an apartment. And they won't have to pay any longer. Well, joke's on them because she eventually calls them. Mind you, while she's live, can I ask y'all, why do y'all watch her watch TV? Why do y'all watch her sleep? Like, what do you get out of that? There isn't even a sliver of entertainment. Oh, and let me show you one other picture while I talk about her. Because this is the photo that matters. Let's see. Let me find it. I got a ton of screenshots in here. Slow down and you will find it. Let me show you that picture. And if you have to, scroll. I know, and then she kept the $140. But wait, can somebody turn the comments off real quick? Because I just want people to see it. Yes, trigger warning. This is Brooklyn, her dog, that she cares about. Can somebody turn the comments off? Look at that. Mind you, he can't get up or off the bed on his own. And she just leaves him up there until she thinks he might want to go outside. That's absolutely no exercise whatsoever. She has to decide to put him on the floor. But because she's constantly smoking in and out of the door, she can't let him down because he'd run out the door. Okay, you can turn the comments back on. That is what's important. And the fact that her people could sit there and look at that and think she's got everything under control, y'all have to be kidding me. Thank you, Disturbed One. So, while she's putting them on hold, like, why can't you end the live? She comes back with,
Oh, she answered the phone. Now, mind you, earlier on, she said that their hours were Monday, Tuesday, and Friday from 8:30 to 4, from 8 to 4, 8 to 4:30. It's a Thursday. So why are you expecting somebody to answer the phone for you? I'm just saying. Now, she probably lied about the days and times. I don't know. But you're on a Thursday complaining. And she got $140 for an Uber to go down there to get the apartment, to get there and get back. So they speak to her, and it turns out that the woman calling was legitimate and that the woman had an apartment available, but she thought Catherine still had her voucher, her housing voucher. And when she found out she didn't, the apartment was no longer hers. The woman said, though, that they have other apartments, and we have them down here too. They're like mixed apartments where some of them are full price, some of them are made for Section 8 and that level of housing, and then some are income based. They would switch you to the income based. So, A, it wasn't a troll. B, it wasn't a lie. But do you know what she did? She pulled up an envelope for the people in her life and said, well, since we didn't go to the apartment, 500 from 140 is 355. That's all we need to stay in the hotel. Are y'all okay? She didn't ask if she could keep it. She didn't ask, well, since the apartment isn't coming up. No. She just made the assumption that, and of course they're going to be like, keep it. And of course they are. They've already given it to you. They expected it to be spent. But my question for y'all ladies and one man, how long are you going to pay for her to stay in that $500 a week hotel? I want you to think about that. She's already been there for 3 weeks. That's $1,500. That doesn't include the food, the Ubers, the DoorDash, the deliveries, just the hotel. Already at 1,500. A month is going to be 2,000. 3 months is going to be 6,000. What's the year going to be? And y'all want me to believe that y'all are going to continue to fund her life until shit happens? Until shit. That's like insurance. Continue to pay until shit happens. Are y'all okay? This is why I say you create the monster. Because you have led her to believe that your money is unlimited until her life gets together. And then somebody asked the opportune question. Even if, even if your rent is only $300 a month, how are you going to afford it? And she's like, I get a check every month. Isn't this the same woman who says that her check is already used every month between her storage and the other things that she claims? Which is why she can't even put herself in a hotel room for a day? So if your $1,200 check is already eaten up, by daily living. How you gonna pay the electric bill, the cable bill, the Wi-Fi bill, the rent? Oh well, you won't have a storage anymore. Okay. Again, correct, Sandy. That's what people do. Because getting money from other people this fast, without question, without interrogation, without having to pay a dime back, will only last for so long. It will come to an end. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me show who I'm talking about. Thank you, Willie Beth. And I just want to say to y'all, I know that now that I'm doing Monday and Friday, I go overtime. And that's because I don't have a Wednesday. I'm going to end up going overtime every time I realize. So at the end of the day, the reality is you're only missing an hour because I'm going to probably do 5 hours one day and 5 hours, 4 hours Friday. Really, Nicole? I wouldn't doubt it. Yeah, she's live on both names all the time, hoping to get support. But if you can't put yourself in a room for 1 week by yourself, shout out to Rose, how are you going to live in an apartment? Because with income usually comes the expectation of rent. And what her plan is to go back to her games. That's her plan, is to go back to her games. We'll see how that works. Did I miss anybody? I know, Josh. I don't understand what the fixation is with Jordan. But now people who have never been in the game, who have never met any of us, are bringing awareness to Jordan Paul and Sheena. Like people are legitimately sick of those two. Oh, Granny Annie, she does go live on the Book of Faces. That's where she was playing her games and cheating people out of money. Let's not forget she was selling her man's pain pills. Josh, listen, it doesn't make sense. You know what I say? Shout out to Judge Judy. If it doesn't make sense, it's probably not true. Now, are those occasions? Yes, but not always. Now, did anybody happen to run over there and listen to what Awareness T was saying? Because I'd love to hear it. Anybody know that's here now? If not, you can DM me and tell me, or hit me up on IG. I know the faithful are gonna stay and listen to the whole thing, but the dramas are gonna run over to hear what was said. You know, you can hold your own life and say whatever, but damn, wait for me to finish at least so you know what you're responding to. You went in and got a shout out. Ah, well, whatever. I said what I said. And at the end of the day, I appreciate everybody who comes in, even the people who are here to troll. I don't care. If I can do my lives like this, where I never have to show my face or a mask, I will do it this way because this is how I've always wanted to do. So with that, I'm gonna end with this. Ooh, hold on.
Sorry. Do you want me? I mean, I could tell you some what was said in there, or you want me to do it
Oh,
on IG?
do it on IG. I'll talk. I'll
All
call
right.
you.
All
Okay.
right.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Yeah. Cause yeah. All right.
All right.
All right. All
Cool.
right. Bye.
Bye. Okay. So I'm gonna end with this. You really miss me on Wednesdays. I'm gonna take a minute to get used to it. Yeah, I understand, but I need it because I don't want anybody to think that I'm following scammers 24/7 like I don't have nothing else to do. And Mister enjoyed it as well. We had a great Wednesday. So with that, I'm going to end. First of all, hug your loved ones because tomorrow isn't promised. A Lighthouse with Dee is coming next week. It'll probably be on Wednesday evening. Um, so if you're not following me over there and you like to talk about mental health and hear about how to get over some of the challenges in life and get a breathing exercise in, come over. It's easy going over there. It might not be for long, but it is right now. So this is a shout out to the people who want to disparage my character. Echo, play Leave Me Alone by Tech Nine.
Here's Leave Me Alone by Tech Nine on Amazon Music.
Oh, Echo, pause. Echoes, pause. Melissa, would you like a box? Would you like a box? Because I can tell you exactly why I say what I say. Would you like a box to have a conversation? Because how come y'all ain't never here when I'm saying what I was saying? You still here, Melissa? No, she don't need to mind her business. You still here, Melissa? Melissa, Melissa, explain this to me. You guys keep giving her money for a hotel room because she says that she can't pay for it because her check covers every single one of her bills. How long you gonna pay for her hotel room? It's already been 1,500. Tell me that. Just explain to me when is enough gonna be enough. Right, Melissa. But you realize that she has gotten $1,500 in the last 3 weeks to stay in a hotel room. And she hasn't shown you any accounting of where her money went. She just tells you it goes to bills. But how will she pay for an apartment if her entire check already goes to bills? See, you want to say I only gave $50. Well, that's good for you. What about the people who are giving her money every week? And that doesn't include food, smokes, the dog, Ubers. Oh, you care about the dog? You care about the dog. Let's see. Let's see the dog. Wait a minute. Because you care about the dog. That's the dog you care about? That's the dog you care about. Don't you think if somebody can't afford on their own to take care of their animals, that they should surrender them for someone who can give them the proper care? And that's another thing. Her son calls her out and says she's slick and she scams. At what point, just tell me this, Melissa, at what point is too much money for you? At what point is too much money for your budget, Melissa? Because y'all are giving her money like you don't have an end in sight. Correct, Linda. And guess what she would have been doing? Let's remember she was overwashing the dog, probably creating more of an irritant. Michelle, were you there when she was talking about how she wrote bad checks so she could give her kids a Christmas and then went to prison? Don't you think her children would have preferred a smaller Christmas and their mother at home? No, they had to go live with with their grandparents, who she said was abusive. She said her parents were abusive, and yet by her own actions, they had to live with her abusive parents. And then, after stealing the stuff, she tried to claim it in an insurance scam. Oh, she's live. But Melissa, what I feel like you've done, and I'm being frank, this isn't like a dig at you, is that you are seeing her through rose colored glasses. Because as I told her when I first saw her, she talked about how her husband passed away, which wasn't her husband, and how devastated she was. And she is still singing that song 3 hours later. Now, let me explain something. I'm not telling her that she should be over it by now. But why are you using it to get money out of people? It was 3 years ago, and you still don't have your act together? She showed you a picture of that RV she had to sell. If you knew you were going to be living in your car, you wouldn't have got the whole car checked out. But do you know she was living with a friend before she came live? Talking about she was devastated and she wasn't asking for anything. Melissa, she already had a Facebook family. Why did she need a TikTok one? Really, existence? You might need a box. You want to make it about the fact that I don't show my face instead of acknowledging the fact that the person you're supporting is taking advantage of kind hearted people. Whether you see my face or not doesn't make what I say any less the truth. But that's deflection. Thank you, Varys. That's deflection from the truth. I got a Teresa and a Caleb that have asked for the box, but I don't know if you were just liking the live. So, like you had a lot to say. You want to defend her, so defend her. Defend her. And even when she went to prison for what she did, she blamed her mother. Well, my mother told me to give a false name. Well, you're a grown adult with kids. You didn't know not to lie to the police. You knew you were scared of them knowing the truth. Melissa, would you have done that to your children? Would you have wrote bad checks knowing that you could go to jail for it? To give them the illusion that you could afford Christmas instead of getting out there and busting your ass and making it for them? Does she think she was the only single mom doing it? I never went to jail. I was a single mom for years. Were there things that I wanted to give my son I couldn't afford? Hell yeah. It never occurred to me to steal it because I was raised with morals. Melissa, you ever heard of Dean? He's made a living at doing that. Go watch him if that's what you're looking for. That's not what I do. And you're talking about Trump destroying the U.S. That's great and dandy. Go vote. Go in your community and convince people who voted for Trump not to. I'm on the ground. You see, I'm where the real people live. And I promise you that nobody in her chat is independently wealthy. Because if they were, they could write her a $10,000 check and say, listen, this is nothing. Get yourself together. It's people who have worked hard just like you and me. People who have our own budgets, our own bills, our own children and grandchildren. See, I got a warning for the camera being off. It don't matter what I do. Instead of you checking me, why don't you check what I'm saying? Check if what I'm talking about is the truth. And see, Melissa, because you won't get in a box. Let me show you something real quick. You see that? I know you guys are, and I appreciate you. Catherine was one of many, probably a little bit. Catherine was one of many because they're all doing the same thing. So then, Melissa, when she tried to cry to y'all that the apartment was from a troll because people are haters on here, was that true? But she let that go on for a long time. She let people believe that the people who hate her on here went through all of that to create a fake number, create a fake company that had a voicemail that told you the hours they were open because they didn't answer the phone for her. All to make it look like she hadn't received the phone call. or that they didn't answer. She told y'all the hours were Monday, Tuesday, and Friday. This was a Thursday. Y'all gave her $140 to get to the apartment to get it. She led y'all to believe that she was going to get the apartment. And so guess what? We don't have to pay for her hotel anymore. We got her through this hump. And then she came back with, oh, I don't have a voucher. Did she say to the people, so the people who gave me $140, can I use it for something else? Or I'm sorry. No, she held up an envelope and said, well, now we're 355 short for the room. She didn't even ask. Thank you guys for the gifts. I appreciate it. She didn't even ask. And when I say ask, she didn't ask about the 140, but she also didn't ask, can y'all help me with another week? I would appreciate it. No, she just told you. Well, it's another, we just got 355 left. We just got 355 left to go. And y'all sent it. What starts off as a temporary problem, Melissa, is that when they get the money so fast, so easy, without question, why would she change it? She gets to live in a hotel. She has TV, free internet, free coffee. Y'all are sending her food. She gets her cigarettes. Y'all take care of the needs of the dog. Melissa, tell me why she would change that situation on her own. Oh, of course. So she could run in there and be like, I defended you. Never got a box, though. Okay, I have a lot of people who were asking for the box. But it's already 10:51. It's about to be 11. Wait, what did Lucky say? I don't really feel like. Oh, she said have a good day. I bet you she did. Anyway, let's go back to what we were doing. Why aren't people ever ready for the clapback? Ever. They are every ready. They want to come in and say something and then expect to walk away scot free or make a video or just disparage you, but they're not expecting a clapback. Expect a clapback from me. Believe me. And again, I want to say it again. I was pointing out, I did all of that to get to the fact that CaringSharon is awareness tea. And that be aware that she doesn't feel like she needs to tell you the truth. Because you're nothing to her and she's nothing to you. Just bear that in mind. And so with that, I'm going to end again. Echo, please play Leave Me Alone by Tech Nine. Everybody, have a great day. Have a great weekend. I'll see you on Monday morning. Again, I thank you for your support. And I'll be here every day that I say I'm going to be here. Because the only thing that can stop me is the Lord above and myself.